Okay, we're here in Tucson at poolside talking with Dan Proulx, National Mountain Bike Coach at the CCA's preseason training camp. So Dan, can you tell us a little bit, from your perspective, how's the camp been?
Well, it's been really successful. We've had a lot of the top road riders and the top mountain bikers in Canada all together for 1 week of training, and it's been not only a great training activity, but it's been a really important team building activity, and it's kind of setting the stage for what we want to do in the next 3 to 4 years in terms of making Canada a really powerful cycling nation.
Okay, now for you, this is obviously a really important year with the Worlds being at home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going into the season at this point, how are you feeling in terms of how the Canadian athletes are preparing?
Well, we're really on top of things. I mean, we know the course. We've had success there last year, and a lot of the things that we did at this camp were geared toward that race and being successful. And we're looking for 1 to 2% in a lot of different areas, and trying to get the athletes to think about the tiny details that will take them from being in the top 10 to actually putting them on the podium at Worlds.
Okay, so I mean, talking about the season, this is obviously very early. It's only February, but the season's coming pretty fast. So what is the plan for preparing the top athletes for Worlds?
Right. Well, we're working a lot with their professional teams to coordinate schedules, but our top athletes obviously are focused on World Cup competition. For our espoirs, they're doing World Cups that will give them experience racing the Europeans. It's a much higher pace than what we normally see in North America, and mixed in with that, they're going to also be doing some US Cup races, which are pretty high caliber events, and it's again just stepping stones to that World Cup speed. And then they go to the last World Cup in Wyndham just before the World Championships, and funny enough, for the espoirs, World Championships is the only time where they get to race just their field, and so we're hoping that all of the racing at a higher level will allow them to compete with the Europeans quite well in the espoir category. And then in terms of juniors, we picked those off of the first few races in the Canada Cup Series, and then they'll be joining us for 2 World Cups, Champs-Paris and Val d'Isole, and then they'll also compete in the World Cup just before the World Championships. So they'll have 3 runs to sort of get experience riding with the Europeans before they compete with them head-to-head at Worlds.
Okay, so what is your optimism in terms of, we think in terms of people like Marie-Hélène and Catherine Pendrell and Jeff Kabush and so on, but what are your feelings in terms of the U23s and the juniors, where they are in terms of their development to do well at Worlds?
Well, there's some pretty phenomenal depth, some pretty talented people in there. I mean, obviously our elite athletes are among the very best in the world already, but those athletes kind of give us a benchmark to look at our U23s and our juniors, and from what I can see, some of these U23 riders, Emily Batty obviously, guy like Evan Guthrie or Cody Canning, these are riders that are on track to perform at that World Cup level, and when they go to the World Championships, it's just sort of a matter of giving them experience, giving them the right training and tools so that they can compete. As far as the juniors go, as I noted at the World Championships last year, we actually have some juniors who exceeded the level or the standard that Evan had set and Raf had set before that. So we have a really strong progression of riders coming up through the system, and I think in the future we'll see some really good performances from Canada. We're going to continue in the great tradition that we've had over the last sort of 10, 20 years in the sport.
Okay. And I guess in terms of the early season, I mean, is the first major project for the national team the Pan Am Championships?
Pan Am Championships in Guatemala, and we're actually sending some development riders to that. In the past, we've sent some of our very best, and it's been really good, but it's also extended their season, and we want those top athletes to be focused on World Cup competition, and we want our espoirs and our developing elite riders to really be focused on Pan Ams, because it's a competition we can go to, we can be successful in an international race, and again, it's another stepping stone. So I guess really the system now is looking at how do we take the talented riders that we have, they're as talented as any other country in the world, how do we progress them now? And it's through careful planning of competitions and making sure they're appropriate, and trying to get all of the athletes to have the same level of knowledge and the sort of skill. And I guess at this camp, the skill component has been huge, because we've had development riders riding with Catherine Pendrell, riding with Jeff Kabush, and there's been a huge interaction between all of them, and we've actually sort of designed some systems so that there's going to be some ongoing peer coaching. And that's really how mountain biking works. It's almost like rock climbing. It's problem solving and talking to people about how they approach the course. And the bond that we've built here at this camp is going to be invaluable when we go to World Cup competitions, where a young athlete, a U23, can go and ride a pre-lap with Jeff and learn from the very best in the world, and that's going to help our performance.
So it sounds like you're pretty enthusiastic for the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good, and I mean, we have a lot of team spirit, and we're definitely eager to do better than we did in Worlds in Canberra. I mean, it was a good competition, but boy, we know we can do much better than that, and we're eager to do it on home soil. The course suits us really well. It's a technical course, it's a challenging course, and our riders are going to be well prepared for it.
Good, well, look forward to that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.